Dear students, welcome to the lecture series of Financial Accounting. Today in this lecture, we shall be starting up Unit 9th, and under Unit 9th, we will learn in detail Partnership Accounting. In our previous lectures, we have learned the introductory part of Partnership Accounting, where we have learned the provisions as given in the Partnership Act, and we have also learned in detail Partnership Deed. We have already learned to prepare the partnership accounts using fluctuating and fixed capital method. So, today we are going to learn one more fundamental topic under the introductory part, and it is known as valuation of goodwill. So, in the valuation of goodwill, we shall learn today meaning, its factors and methods of valuation. Now, students, we shall discuss in detail valuation of goodwill. So, let us first understand what is goodwill. Goodwill can be defined as the present value of firm's anticipated excess earning. As per Professor Dick says, when a man pays for goodwill, he pays for something which places him in the position of being able to earn more money than he would be able by his own unaided efforts. The meaning of this definition, or the implication of this definition, is that whenever we fetch more money on account of our reputation, on account of the services being provided to the customer, and whatever we are earning over and above the normal earnings is known as goodwill. When a business organization earns goodwill, it needs to be accounted for, because the nature of goodwill is that it is an intangible asset, it is not a fictitious asset. So, goodwill earned on account of services being provided, goods being delivered, and on account of the reputation of the firm is to be accounted for, is to be valued, and it is to be shown as an asset of the organization. Now, students, let us discuss what are the factors which affects the valuation of goodwill. The first one is location. By location, we mean the premises or the place where business is being conducted. If the business is situated in such a place which attracts large number of customers, and by which, due to the loyalty of the customer, we fetch higher reputation, and the goodwill is obviously going to be on a upward side. So, the location is going to play a major role in the valuation of goodwill, in the value of the goodwill. Next one is time. Time is an element which is very necessary for the success of any enterprises. So, as far as goodwill is concerned, it also gets affected by the time element. So, we can be able to fetch a higher market share when we provide the services punctually and in a timely fashion. So, it is one of the prime factor which affects the goodwill of any business organization. Now, the third important factor is nature of business. When we talk about the nature of business, it does affect the goodwill, because sometimes nature of business is such that it attracts higher number of customers, and they are ready to pay a amount higher than the normal amount so being given. For example, we are into the business where utilities are being provided to the customers, and if the service level is such that it attracts customers and fulfill their requirement, they would be willing to pay amount more than the normal expectation of the business. That is why we say that nature of the business does affect the value of the goodwill. Similarly, if nature of business is such where there is less utility as far as customers are concerned, so in that case obviously the value of goodwill is also going to be in a declining mode. Next one is capital requirement. If a business organization is such that it requires less capital but it fetch more profit, obviously the goodwill will be higher, and the vice versa will be the case. That means if higher amount of capital is required but the returns are not as high, the goodwill of the business is going to be minimum. Next one is type of customers. Types of customer is the major important factor in valuing the goodwill. There are various types of customer. The one which are loyal to the brand, they are adhere to the loyalty of a particular business organization. So under such circumstances, obviously the goodwill is going to be on a higher side. Now there are certain customers who are more towards the quantitative aspect or for the change they accept, like they are moving towards the trends, they are moving towards the fashion. For them it's not the brand loyalty which is important, for them the range, the variety is important. So such customer or such set of customer which a business organization is going to face, obviously it will affect the goodwill of the organization, and they might not be able to fetch a higher goodwill as from the customers who are loyal. That means if any business organization is having the set of customers who are loyal towards brand, they will be having a higher goodwill, while if any set of organization or any organization is having the set of the customers who are loyal towards the variety or they are running towards quantitative aspect, obviously their goodwill is not as great as that of the loyal customer. So depending upon the type of the customer, goodwill of any business organization may vary. Next one is the reputation of the management. By reputation of the management, we mean that how profitable the organization is moving, how well the organization is managed. So it will be evaluated in terms of operational efficiency of the management as well as the productivity. So where the productivity and operational efficiency and the manner of conducting the business is of a higher quality, the goodwill of such organization would also be on a higher end. So these are the factors which are going to affect the goodwill of any business organization. Now the next question is need for valuing goodwill. Now when and where we are required to value the goodwill? We have learned in detail that there are certain factors which have affected the goodwill, but why we have to account for such goodwill and when we need to do the valuation of this goodwill in the books of accounts. So there are certain circumstances at that time, or they are the trigger points where the valuation of the goodwill is necessary. So the first one in our list is admission of partner. By admission of partner, we mean that in an ongoing partnership, if some new admission is there, if a new partner is being inducted into the business, at that time we need to do the valuation of the goodwill. Next one is retirement or death of partner. If any partner has got retired by rotation, retired by will, or any death of partner has occurred, at that time we need to value the goodwill and we need to distribute the goodwill in the agreed ratio. Third situation is when there is a change in the profit sharing ratio of partner. Change in the profit sharing ratio means that earlier they might be sharing the ratio as 5:3:2. Now they have decided to change this ratio and have decided to share the profits or the future profits in another ratio, say 2:2:1. So in that case we again have to value the goodwill and distribute it accordingly. Fourth condition is that when amalgamation of a partnership firm with another firm takes place. Amalgamation means consolidation or adding up to business. So there is a accounting treatment of the amalgamation. We need to follow the set of journal entries and to maintain the books as being given in the partnership accounting. So this is also one of the important conditions where we need to do the valuation of goodwill into our books of account. Last one is sale of partnership business. This is very important factor which we need to keep in mind, that the difference of the purchase consideration would amount to goodwill, and we have to value the goodwill as the manner has been suggested by our agreement. So following the agreement we have to account for the goodwill, so we need to do the valuation. So these are the 5 peculiar circumstances under which valuation of goodwill is necessary in the books of accounts while doing the accounting of partnership. Now next question which comes into our mind is that how to do this valuation. So we have 3 methods with us for doing this valuation. The first one is average profit methods, second one is super profits method, and third one is capitalization of profit method. We shall learn about them one by one. So first of all we will take up the average profits method. Now, what is this average profit method? In case of this method, the value of goodwill depends upon two factors. First one is average expected profits and second one is number of years. So let us understand under average profit methods what are these two factors, average expected profits and number of years. So when we analyze these two factors, we would be able to find out goodwill under average profit methods. These are calculated on the basis of past performance of the business in the light of future possibilities. That means we have to take into consideration the profits as we are earning in the past years, but we have to do the addition on account of the changing trend. If we are able to analyze from the past data that there is an increasing trend of the profit, say profit is increasing 10% every year, so that trend has to be followed and we have to apply a certain percentage on our current profits or the past profits to find out a expected profit. Then this expected profit has to be averaged over the years which we are taking into consideration to find out our average expected profits. Next one is number of years. This denotes the average period which a new businessman would take in bringing the business to a stage where it will be in a position to give the average profit. So such number of years would be subjective as per the capabilities of the businessman to fetch the average profits. Now we will take up a practical example to understand how the goodwill is being valued under average profit methods. So this example is before us where A purchased B's business with effect from 1st April 2011. The profit disclosed by B's business for the last 3 years were as follows. Now the detail of 3 years profit is being given to us in this table. In 2009, rupees 40,000 including abnormal gain of 5,000. So when gain is included, we have to exclude it because we have to take the normal profit. So in 2010 also there is certain additional information given. Let's analyze it. In 2010, rupees 50,000 is the profit after charging an abnormal loss of 10,000. So we shall add it back. In 2011, rupees 45,000 excluding rupees 5,000 as an insurance premium on firm's property now to be insured. So it is to be subtracted. Now calculate the value of firm's goodwill on the basis of 2 years purchase of the average profit of last 3 years. Here we need to keep in mind that while doing the valuation of the goodwill, we have to value the goodwill on the basis of 2 years purchase, while the average expected profit have to be found out for 3 years. So students may not get confused in these years and apply the years properly. So we will start up with the solution. So here is the solution. First of all, we have to calculate the average profit. So in this table we have the calculations of average profit. In 2009, we have the profits as 40,000 and we have subtracted the abnormal gains as it is given in the question that 40,000 includes abnormal gain of 5,000. So we have to subtract it. Now in 2010, rupees 50,000 is the amount of profit given and we have to add back the abnormal loss which is being charged. So we will get the figure as 60,000. In 2011, we have been given the figure of profit as 45,000, but we have to do this adjustment because there was an exclusion of insurance premium now to be insured, so it has to be subtracted. So together 35,000, 60,000 and 40,000 will give us the total profits of 3 years and it amounts to 1,35,000. Now we will do the averaging of the profit which we have ascertained for all the 3 years. So average profit has to be computed as 1,35,000 divided by 3, so it will amount to 45,000. Now we have to do the valuation of goodwill and it is given in the question that goodwill is to be valued at 2 years purchase of average profit. Average profit we have right now ascertained, So we will simply multiply 45,000 into 2 in order to ascertain 2 years purchase for the valuation of goodwill, and it will amount to 90,000. So this is the way goodwill is being valued using average profit method. Now we will move to another method, and it is known as super profits method. Now how shall we do the valuation of goodwill under super profits method? Let us understand it. First of all, let us understand what is super profit. The term super profit refers to the excess profit made by a concern over normal profit. The valuation of goodwill will depend upon the following factors: average capital employed in the business, normal profit, average expected profits, super profits, and number of years. So while calculating the goodwill using super profits method, these all the 5 factors have to be calculated, have to be taken into consideration to ascertain the value of goodwill. One by one we will learn in detail what are these factors and how they shall be computed in order to value the goodwill. So first of all, we will be taking up the average capital employed in the business. Average capital employed in the business is the average of the capital employed in the beginning and the capital employed at the end of the accounting period. Now a question can come into the minds of the students that how the capital employed is being computed. So let's see this format: calculation of capital employed. We have to take up the assets other than goodwill, preliminary expenses or fictitious assets. For example, these assets are rupees 1,50,000. Then we have to subtract the liabilities due to outsiders. They are, which shall include sundry creditors, bills payable, etc. And in our example, we have taken them as 50,000. When we subtract the assets and liabilities, what we are getting is capital employed. Here in our example, it amounts to rupees 1 lakh. So this is the method to find out the capital employed, and it is the first factor which we need to take into consideration to find out the value of the goodwill using super profits method. Second one is normal profit. Normal profits under super profit method is calculated on the basis of normal rate of return earned by similar business applied to the average capital employed in the business. So what we can say from this definition is that normal profit is computed when we apply a rate of normal return, and this rate is industry specific. That means the organization which is falling into a particular entity or any industry stream, whatever industry stream is following the rate of return, that needs to be applied on the average capital so computed for that particular organization in order to ascertain the normal profit. We have simplified it as normal profit is equal to average capital employed into normal rate of return. You can see the calculations over here. Putting this formula into consideration, we will find out normal profit. So we have taken up or deduced the definition into this formula. We will apply this formula directly to ascertain the normal profits. Here in our example, we have taken the average capital employed as 1 lakh, and we assume that normal rate of return is 10%. So applying this rate of return on the capital employed, we are getting the normal profit. So this way we have computed normal profit. Till now we have not arrived at the super profits. So what these super profits are, we will learn it. First of all, we have to find out one more type of profit, and it is known as average expected profits. This is calculated on the basis of past profits adjusted in the light of future possibilities. It is computed in the same fashion as we have computed in the average profits method. So here also we will understand it with the help of an example. For example, average profit of last 3 years is 15,000 and expectation of the growth is 10%. Its expectation might have increased because market share is being increased, or there is upward trend of profits into the business organization. So we will add up this growth rate and average expected profits are being computed, and it is coming as 16,500. Now next is super profits. Super profits are the difference between the average expected profit and normal profit. So we will compute the super profit as follows. Here average expected profit is being computed by us in the previous slide, and it is 16,500. So we have simply put over here the amount of the expected profits, that's the average expected profit. Now we have to subtract the normal profits. It is coming as 10,000, and right now we have done the calculation of normal profit by applying the normal rate on capital employed, and it is coming as 10,000. So 16,000 minus 10,000 is giving us the figure of super profits, and it is coming as 6,500. Having understood the calculation aspect of super profit, one thing we can ascertain is that we have to find out all the factors under super profit method to ascertain the super profit. Like normal profit has to be computed, and for calculation of normal profit we have to take into consideration capital employed and normal rate of return. Then average expected profits have to be ascertained, and we have to do the adjustments of the past trends so that this future expected profits can be into our hands. So the computation of expected profits and normal profits have been done in order to ascertain the super profits. So we can analyze the factors which are there in the super profit methods. Again, the capital employed, normal profit, average expected profits and super profits we have already covered up in order to ascertain the super profits. What's the role of number of years? The amount of super profit so calculated will be multiplied by the number of years from which the super profit is expected to continue. If it is estimated that super profit will continue to the new buyers of the business for 2 years, the amount of goodwill will be calculated as 6,500 into 2. The 6,500 is the amount of super profits which we have computed, and the number of years are being given as 2 years. So 6,500 into 2 will give us the value of the goodwill under super profits method as 13,500. We have learned in detail both the methods of calculation of goodwill using average profit methods as well as super profit method. With this, we are ending up our lecture of today. In today's lecture, we have learned about the valuation of goodwill. We have learned the meaning and significance of goodwill and various factors which affects the goodwill of any business organization. Then we have learned the various methods of computation of goodwill. That means there are certain methods for valuation of goodwill which are being given under partnership accounting. We have learned in detail average profits method with the help of a practical example, and we have also learned the method of computation of profit using super profits method with a illustration. With this, we are ending up our lecture of today. Thank you.